So, in continuation with the session we done earlier regarding staffing industries issues that matter, where we kind of talked about how AI and Gen AI can solve the problem for better conversion for staffing industries, I'd like to kind of walk through one of the solutions which is done by Innovation Hacks AI for helping staffing industries around this problem. So Recruit AI is a representation of one of your staffing companies, and they're in the business of technical placements. And let's say I'm one of the employees of Recruit Right AI, and my job is to ensure that we've got the maximum number of candidates placed on the jobs which are actually coming our way. Now, on an average day when I log in, I would typically see the main dashboard, which is giving me a listing of all the job openings. It's giving me a good understanding in terms of the candidate pool status, in terms of the number of resumes which have been, which are available in my data bank, and it kind of basically gives me more relevant skills and the specific distribution of from a demographics of what's hot and education experience standpoint of view. In addition to that, the matching stats. Typically, there's an Gen AI or AI based algorithm which sits behind the scene, which takes all the job description or the job post and matches them against a specific candidate, and it kind of tells you in terms of how many candidates have been matched, how many placements have been made against those match candidates, and obviously there are a number of mismatches as well. So because even AI models can have a tendency to kind of go wrong. Now, from a search standpoint of view, I prefer to if kind of search in natural language where I can actually kind of put a question in English language and to find me the candidates located in Houston, for POM role with microservices and Java and available immediately. So it's kind of quickly going to give me a listing of all the people who are available which meet that criteria. And this kind of search is more fluid compared to the standard searches which we actually have, which are more keyword based. Furthermore, if I may choose to kind of look at one candidate and kind of go a little deeper, it kind of gives me the interview notes of any interviews have been kind of done, gives me a snapshot view of the career timeline, and the more important piece is the suitability score, which kind of tells me that how suitable the candidate is for the job post. And I'd like to basically kind of go deeper into the suitability score, and this is where it's kind of going to give me the score based on various categories. The categories which are typically skills, experience, education background, performance assessment, and stability as well. So it gives me a good snapshot view in terms of what's the distribution across all of them, and it kind of gives an overall suitability score, which typically I would do on a daily basis in terms of skimming through resumes and looking for the right skills and experience. So a large part of the candidate matching to the job is kind of done with Gen AI models, which kind of basically take over at least 20-30% of my my workload on a daily basis. Now, furthermore, I'd like to take this thing a little further, and let's say I have two candidates, and I would want to kind of look at the two candidates and compare them. So I can go ahead and take the two selected candidates from the pool which has been suggested and kind of compare them. And as I kind of go deeper, I can go and compare them on comparison of the suitability score as well. And it doesn't stop here. I can basically go ahead and start asking questions around the suitability score. Like, for example, this is Stannis Corp. Is looking to hire microservice architect on Java Spring Boot, and they're looking at 10 plus years of experienced candidate, and they need someone with proven track record of building complex architecture. Now, the recommendation has obviously been John Doe and Jane Smith, and I could basically say the suitability score is basically the recommendation is John Doe. And now, what if the customer says the stability is an important parameter? We don't want to see too many jumps or changes from a career standpoint of view. Then the model kind of gives me the overall, obvious answer is going to be Jane Smith. So the conversation becomes conversation-based fact finding is a lot more easier compared to just kind of skimming through documents and trying to basically do the fact finding. So it's like resonating your ideas against somebody and then kind of getting a viewpoint which is more relevant. And you need to, it'll obviously, once you're convinced, then you can move ahead with the candidate. Furthermore, I think more important feature from a staffing standpoint of view is to basically understand what the market trends are in the staffing industry, what skills are likely to be coming up in next quarter, and how good are we from a resume standpoint of view, number of resumes in our data bank. So this, basically, this is where the forecasting model kind of comes in, where it's kind of looking at, like in this case, it's kind of indicating that prompt engineering is going to be almost a 50% increment in the next quarter, and as opposed to that, we don't have that many number of resumes, and Java is on a decline. And so I could still analyze this and then ask specific questions in terms of that. What do I do with my existing sourcing team? And that's where the recommendation kind of comes. You could reallocate the sourcing team to meet the in-demand areas like prompt engineering, and train the existing Java sourcing team on prompt engineering, and that could be a strategic move to capitalize for the market extension. So this helps in terms of keeping ahead of the market. So this is a quick demo, and it kind of gives an idea in terms of how AI and Gen AI can really help speed up the candidate matching process, and the forecasting module, which is completely built on traditional AI, which kind of tells you in terms of what the market trends are and what you should be doing from a future perspective. Thank you.